In the history of the Eastern Roman Empire, or as we call it, Byzantium, popular revolts were quite ordinary. But neither before nor after spontaneous rebellion has not taken such a scale and had such consequences as the rebellion of Constantinople in 532 Nika. Strange as it may seem, it all started because of sporting events. The fact is that sports in general, and chariot racing in particular, were very popular among the Byzantines, the grandiose Constantinople hippodrome, which is clearly visible in all the images of the city, a vivid example of this. Also, as now supporters made up the associations, which had a huge number of fans in Byzantium. The largest were the blue and green or Venetian and Praetorian parties respectively. The Emperor Justinian, who ruled at that time, favored the Venates, thanks to which they freely attacked their green opponents, the Prazans, which caused quite reasonable discontent of the latter. In general, it was the same thing that is happening now among soccer fans, only on a much grander scale. It all started on that very racetrack. During one of the races, a delegation of Prazans brought a complaint against the Venates to Justinian himself, expressly stating that without their high patronage, they would hardly behave so impudently. Justinian ignored his complaint. Then, furious, the Praetorians began to revile both Venetians and Emperor personally with severest abuse, calling him heretic and Venetians, filthy pagans. The Venetians were not in debt, and a fight broke out which embraced the whole hippodrome. Trying to show his impartiality, Justinian ordered to restore order and arrest the ringleaders, both blues and greens. Next day, they tried to execute the arrested by hanging, but unforeseen thing happened. 3 from 5 executed fell off the gallows and remained alive. The crowd, which included both Prazans and Venates, began to demand mercy for them, but the authorities remained deaf to their pleas, which led to the fact that both parties rose together against the emperor. Spontaneous uprising swept the whole city. Justinian belatedly tried to pacify the crowd, promising forgiveness to all, but it was too late. The battle cry of the rebels was the Greek Nika, emphasis in A, which means conquer. Crowds of people smashed public buildings, rich houses, and estates. The entire city was engulfed in fires and smoke. Even part of the aristocracy has joined the rebels, wishing under all this sauce to put on the throne of a nephew of the deceased Emperor Anastasius. The matter took such a serious turn that Justinian seriously thought about fleeing the city. Only the firmness of his wife Theodora prevented him from taking that step. Meanwhile, Belisarius himself, the best of the Byzantine commanders, was called to quell the revolt. At the head of the imperial guard, reinforced by hired detachments, Belisarius began to impose order with an iron hand. The rebels were driven to the hippodrome, where virtually every last one of them was exterminated. The death toll exceeded 30,000, which was a significant proportion of the townspeople. As a result of the riot, half of Constantinople was burned. Many buildings were seriously damaged, including the famous Cathedral of St. Sophia, which was in the very epicenter of events. It was soon restored to even better condition, however, thanks to the emperor himself, who believed that he had retained power as a result of intervention from above.